Hello everybody, Eternal Primo here. Welcome to this episode of the Gaming Tiers. This time we'll be doing mice, and this time we will see plenty of them. We'll go from the very basic to the very top. And I'll even show you some mice you wouldn't think would be good for gaming. But first, don't forget to like the video if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget, I stream on Twitch every Sunday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Would love to see you guys there. Now, let's get on to the video. Again, this is a very simple thing here. The Gaming Tiers. There's the noob. It just works. That's all the main priority is there. It needs to work. And you'll also kind of want it to look good, or you don't care. So it can look very flamboyant or ugly. It's also generally a very generic and off-brand area. And there's not going to be any software. So if you want to control RGB, good luck with that. Speaking of that, say hello to the Extreme Gaming Mouse. It's already 5 of them. No, this is just one mouse. And as you can see, the RGB is already on quite a bit amount of unicorn vomit. And you cannot control it. Also, look at the design here. See how it's still got that nice little gaming shape to it? It looks familiar, doesn't it? Let's take the Logitech G502, which is pretty darn similar. So similar almost, you could take them next to each other and you cannot see the differences, except for the part where there's a wire for the Extreme. We'll get to the 502 in a minute. Now, I mentioned that I was going to have a different one for the No Thrilled Gamer, which is the mid-tier. The mid-tier is a form and function, so you're going to see a lot of different things, and some people like to try different things for gaming. You're also going to see a lot of times where you're not going to see any extras. There's not going to be a lot of RGB, if any. There's also not going to be any software almost all the time. But it's a bang for the buck kind of thing, and this really hits it in all corners. This is the Logitech M570. It is actually a very much meant for business type. It's very ergonomic if you're always on the computer, which is why I picked it up. I love this mouse. This was my main peripheral for this for like a good 2 years. I ended up upgrading to the 502 just a little bit ago. It's very nice. It does do everything. Now, I will say this, there's a little ball here. What's the ball for? That's how you move your cursor. You just need to take your thumb and move it around. It takes a day or two to get used to, but other than that, this thing handles it like a champ. You don't need to move your hand, so your hand can just kind of stay there and move it around. Now, the only thing I don't like about this is if you have a theme in mind, the ball generally only comes in one color. But, just take something, say like a pen, there's a little hole in the back, and you can plop the ball out. This is more meant for cleaning, to clean off the little rotators right here, here, and here, and then also clean off the sensor, because it is a ball and it's on your hand. If you're anything like me, you're a very dirty person, because you work in a very dirty place. It just happens. Tends to be the only kind of place that'll hire someone like me who does YouTube videos and loves gaming. At least till I get a degree. It's a hard knock life. And the very best mouse. This is the Sweaty AF. My favorite one. Because there is software everywhere. There is RGB that is tasteful, not flamboyant. And it is the best of the best. You're not really going to get much better on some of these. And if you are, you're definitely paying for it. But you don't care, because you're already Sweaty AF. The 502, which was a tried true mouse already, with the 502 Hero, which I will link below as well. The wired edition is considerably cheaper. However, the reason why both of them are amazing is because they last so long, and they do really well. The Hero sensor on these is why it does so well. This is a very, very amazing sensor, and it almost has 100% accuracy with the tracker. I say almost because 100% means there's nothing wrong with your setup, and that's almost impossible. Now we're going to get into, I'll show you a little bit of how each mouse acts on when you're using it. So for the M570, I'm just going to be selecting my thumb and clicking the keys. Nothing too hard there. I will try to hit all of them, but we'll see how that goes. For the Extreme and for the 502, I will be moving them. I will be clicking them. And I will also be getting a closer look at that RGB to show it to you guys so you can see how tasteful or disgusting that is. Let's get into that. Alright, everybody. We're going to be doing this very easily. So, this is the M570. Can't really show you what it's going to sound like on when it's moving because it's not meant to be moved. So they really do make sure those rubbers are on there decently enough so that it doesn't move that much. Like, that actually takes a lot of effort for me to move that. So mostly for that, we're listening for how the ball sounds and the clicks. And for the Extreme, this has a little bit into it. There is also a DPI button, so I'll hit that a couple times to show you guys. It has 3, they're preset. I don't remember off the top of my head what it is, but I think it goes up to 6400 DPI, which is not bad. It's what my Logitech one does, but it doesn't have the customizability of it. And then, for the sake of it, we'll do the Logitech one again. So, first up is the Extreme, because that's the noob. So, we'll start with the hard surface. Now, we're using the Logitech PowerPlays hard surface, mostly because the soft surface, if I were to use it, isn't a big difference. But hear how it's kind of scraping along there. That's why I don't like hard surfaces, though this is a bit more exaggerated than most. So I have a feeling that has to do with the fact that these rubbers are very, very bad. Actually, those aren't rubber at all. That's just straight plastic. But onto soft surfaces, it's very good. It does feel like it's actually getting into the fabric itself, which I don't like, and because I do like how my fabrics look, that would actually be bad to me. Actually, look, they're right there. 125, 250, 500. That's the polling rate. Let's get on to the Logitech. We're just going to set it down here. And the clicks. So, it has 2 buttons right here. Those are scroll wheel buttons. And then there's the wheel for the cursor. It's a little loud, but it's not too loud. So that's mostly what you're going to be dealing with. Back to the Extreme one. I did not do this, and that's my bad. These are extremely loud to me. But the scroll wheel's pretty quiet, which I like. I just wish they did a little better with the actual clicks, because that's really bad. I mean, that's clunky. You can hear it. It sounds clunky. Now on to the G502. Look at that. That looks beautiful. Already. So, already I can feel it. It's moving a bit smoother. It's not having any issues with moving. On the hard surface and on the soft surface, it's buttery smooth. Like, I love it. Now, for the clicks. I gotta figure out where my mouse cursor is because I'm still using it. There it is. So, each button is a different macro. That's the light for the battery level, so mine's currently somewhere around 70 to 80%. And then there's a scroll wheel. It's a little clunkier. I don't like that, to be honest. But, press that button. It's a always moving scroll wheel. Now, how to get it to stop is you can just do that, or just press the button again. It's awesome. There's the DPI button. Well, actually, no, that's the RGB button, I'm pretty sure, for your different... Yeah. This is your sniping button. And then back to your DPIs. I keep it generally around 32 or 1600, depending on how it is. I like 32, though, generally. And that is the G502 Lightspeed. It is going to do basically the same as the normal G502. All right, next part, we're going to get on to the RGB of the Extreme Gaming Mouse. So see you guys there in a second here. Alrighty, so this is the RGB of the Extreme Gaming Mouse. Now, as you can tell, it's not a very dynamic change, and I think it's a little more pronounced in the actual video here. You can see that there's 2, 3, I think 4 dimming zones. That's what's controlling and doing the light for this mouse. Now, for something that has similar an aspect of RGB, the 502, it has 2 spots, and it has a very tasteful way of showing the RGB, where it doesn't have those little hot spots, and then it gets dimmer. It can't really show you that well on this video, it looks like, but this is the very brightest, and as it gets down here, it gets darker and darker, and then it gets around to the corner, and there's another light. Actually, it looks like there's only 2 lights for this entire mouse. So that leaves the tips right here not having any color whatsoever. Alrighty, you guys saw that, and you've already heard my explanation of all 3 tiers and how each one is in a very quick manner. If you want a more detailed review, though, go down to the links below. I will have the 502 definitely on one, and if you guys want me to, I can do one in the M570. It'll take me a little bit, because while I do love this mouse, there were a couple things about it that the only reason I don't like is because they're not meant for gamers. So some things about this are not always the best. But if you're going to go with which mouse I would say is best for most people, I say this because not everybody's gonna have the same agreement on this. Not everybody has the same hand span. Not everybody has the same grip style. Some people like claws. Some people like palming. I do it this way. It's more of a palming thing, but there is a bit of a gap in my hand, so it's a little bit of like a palm grip kind of situation there going on. That hybrid situation. And it really does work for me. Each person's different. My hand's huge, by the way. I'll put something here to show you what my hand size is. Don't worry about it too much, though. But if I were to say which one is going to be best for most gamers, it's going to be the M570. The M570 is a great mouse for gamers because it's not one that you would think is actually really that good. But it's great because it's wireless, so you can take this anywhere. When I bought this was 25 to 30 bucks. Was 25 to 30 bucks, and that was 2 years ago. I don't imagine that price has gone down. I do imagine, though, that this has gotten an update or two in models. There are a lot of ergonomic mouses like this. I would try and stay something similar to that, because that palm thing is a little bit better for your wrist, because you want to get that nice and flat, not too much bend on your wrist. It just will help your wrist, trust me on that. If you want to do the very, very best, you could do the 502. Another good one would be the Logitech G Pro wireless, or the G Pro with a wire. Those are great options too. The only reason I recommend wireless is because I don't want to deal with the wire. I already have more than enough wires to deal with on my setup, and I'm sure if you're actually a true and tried gamer, pretty similar on any aspect of that. So, me trying to help you guys find good and decent wireless peripherals. But again, stick to the M507 for most of you guys. I think 570. 507, that's nice. 570, stick to this. at the very least, if you're trying to do a more budget. I would never in my life touch this if I didn't have to. I do because I'm doing this, A, and B, because my M570, well, didn't crap out on me. I had issues, and I found out it was for a different entire reason. I'll get to that if I ever do a review on that mouse for you guys, and if you guys want me to. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget, I stream on Twitch every Sunday and Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I hope to see you there. And if you guys want to see more of these, my next one will be on the headsets. That one will take a little bit longer, though, because it gets into a little bit more things. It's more of a feel thing on your head. But before I can do that, I gotta do one more review on the headset I went with for my upgrade, and that you guys can see in that next video. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and have a good day.